If you've been scrolling on your news feeds recently, you would have heard some news that I shared, some personal news about the passing of my sister's husband, my brother-in-law, Amron, and it feels even surreal just to say that. It's been challenging. It's been a tough few weeks, the toughest probably of my life, and it's forced me and my family to be strong, to rise up in the face of this level of adversity, and to to do and experience things that we never would think that we would have to, or and would never wish upon you or anyone to have to go through. To be honest, so I'm not gonna cry today because I want to make sure that I'm out of tears at this point, but I want to make sure that this video, which is going to be about what death can teach us about life, um, comes across, in a way where we're celebrating his life. We are not, it's important to grieve and to go through the motions that we are going through. But I think there's always an opportunity to find a silver lining, regardless of how tragic the circumstances are. And I think you've seen in my other videos that I'm always looking at ways that we can take challenging situations in life events and in life in general, and focus on kind of the positives or the lessons out of it. And I'm gonna go through the process. We're all going through the process. It's gonna take time, but I know Amron would not want us to be moping for far too long. He would want us to be enjoying our lives and laughing and having good times. And so that's really what I'm kind of focused on, and not ignoring the feelings, but making sure to embrace them, but also realize, that it's important to kind of move forward, and to keep a smile on your face, and to use humor as a mechanism to cope, and to move forward. So first, I guess, thank you to everyone who's reached out for the contributions to the GoFundMe campaign that we're doing for my sister and 3-year-old nephew Noah, and yeah, just the outpouring of love and condolences has this has actually been a very I don't want to use the word interesting because that kind of diminishes the gravity of it, but it's been interesting to see who has risen up in this time and who has completely been missing. And I mean, it's always important not to have expectations of others, because then you're gonna disappoint yourself. But it's just interesting to be a fly on the wall of my own life, and see random strangers reach out on Instagram saying, I've gone through a situation like this, or what can I do? Anything, and people that are rather close kind of not really show up. So again, not disappointed. I'm just managing my own expectations, but I think as an observation, as a lesson for a video like this, it's an interesting one to observe. So yeah, so in terms of how we're going to stay positive in this, I think it's important to reflect on Amron in terms of how he lived his life, and what lessons that I can extract from the way that he lived his life and impart upon you. I think that's a good way to honor him. So one thing that stands out is for me, family first. He was a very busy guy, always active, always working very hard. But what I know and what I'm learning more about is the fact that he put his family first. Always took his son for a walk every day, down the street to the shops around, and played with him every day. Tried to come home early for dinner and sit at the dinner table with family. And I think what I've written down here is, he worked to live, he didn't live to work. And I think, especially now with COVID and remote working, and there's everyone's overworked, everyone's stretched, and I think at a certain point we have to reflect on, is this good for our health and our mental health, and are you working to live, or are you living to work? And I think that's an important question to reflect on. Um, and he was still successful, so that's good. Staying calm under pressure. He always, I never really saw him upset. So, just heart of gold. Not a the line that kept coming up over the last few weeks is not having a bad bone in his body, right? And staying calm under pressure. So, not worrying about situations. I always felt like I could text him and reach out with any kind of issues that I was facing, and he'd always be like, "Don't worry, man. It's all good. Like, we'll get through this." And it's always nice to have someone who is kind of stoic and level-headed and balanced to be able to kind of let us kind of check ourselves and be like, maybe I am overreacting to this or underreacting to that. So it was nice to have, that's a good lesson that I took from him, to kind of stay calm under pressure. And I think that's helped me through this situation, certainly. Um, he's always thinking about how he could go above and beyond for others, even people he barely knew, and for no reason but to find a way to improve the lives of others. And I think this is an important one. And it came up, I started to meet so many people in the 2 weeks that I was in Florida there for the funeral. So many people. Oh my God, your brother, amazing person. And even people that I hadn't met before, people that he had barely even met, that showed up. They drove from 2 hours, 4 hours away just to be there for this. And that kind of goes a long way to show me and us, ultimately what's important. The reality is, I know we try and hide from it, the reality is we are all going to pass at some point, right? What is someone going to say? What are people going to say about you when that happens, right? Are they going to show up? Are they going to want to show up? And I think a life well lived is reflected by what people say after you've gone, right? So the memories that I have and all the people there, they're all positive. They're all amazing. He has a heart of gold, and he's an amazing person. And, despite the shortness of his life, it's a full life knowing that it was well spent, right? And I know many people that have lived many, many years, and they probably won't be able to say that. I know that sounds harsh. But we're all kind of responsible for the consequences that we kind of make in our life, and the choices that we make and what we prioritize, in terms of family or money or ourselves or what have you. More lessons. So dress to impress. This guy had an amazing wardrobe, and I know you guys think I'm stylish, but he was at next level. In fact, when I got to Florida, we were reminiscing, and my sister was saying, one of the last things that we talked about, Amron and her, was kind of and about me was, you're putting all these videos out, and what's going on with Riaz? He's always dressed so kind of bummy and like with his hat and hoodie and stuff. And this is like my remote life, but kind of the brand has been evolving, and you can see my team probably noticed. Oh, he's doing his hair every day and like dressing for the occasion, and I think I'm gonna kind of I'm gonna balance it out. I'm not gonna kind of go all the way to the other extent, but definitely, when you dress well, you feel good, and people feel good, and it kind of conveys that confidence, right? So I managed to fortunately we were the same size, so I managed to kind of scoop up some of his attire, which is probably the best way to honor him, by kind of wearing his shirt, so to say, and I feel really honored that my sister allowed that. So what's another thing here? So yeah, don't take life too seriously. So there have been moments I have here where we question whether saying, like in the course of this, no one knows what to say to us in terms of you've gone through this and it's terrible, and it's like, I can understand because I've been on the other side of it, and it's like, what do you say? And the reality is, there is nothing to say, right? There's nothing anyone can say that will change what's happened, right? And I think we have to come to terms with that in one way or another, and through grieving, I think that is, there's all this be strong, kind of be strong, and it's like, what is strong? And for me, I don't want to, I don't want people my sister had a great line, I don't want people to cry for us, we want you to cry with us, and it's like, it's quite profound, when I sat back and reflect on that line, it's like, so that's really, you can, that's really what people can do. People say, oh, let me know what I can do, anything. Like, we're not gonna reach out on that and say, hey, you can do this or that or the other. So I think people are well intentioned, and I think, and this is, I'm not saying this about the situation. I'm saying more from a holistic, how to deal with the death of someone of someone's family that it's like, just being there, the nicest moments in the day were when I went on my message and some of my best friends were just sending heart emojis and just thinking of you and not expecting a response. You know what I mean? That went a long way. A lot of the team, my team stepped up so much. Like the CDIO team stepped up so much. My business coaches stepped up. In my volunteer positions, everyone stepped up. So like that's what people can do, I think, in these situations. Anyways, getting back to the lessons here. Everyone grieves in their own way. But I think as we start to see the light and find the courage to continue living positive lives, I think about how he would want us to be laughing and making jokes, not not at his expense, but kind of just like the whole situation. And it sucks. Like it's the worst, right? But if there's some moments of fresh air that we can breathe in, then I think he would want us to take advantage of that, right? And to move forward. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna stop it there. This is kind of the lessons, but yeah, it's a hard situation. We really appreciate kind of the condolences and messages. Don't wish this upon you or anyone. It is really tragic, but what is important is to grieve in the way that's important to you. For me, that is just being focused on my sister, her son, being there for them in spirit, heart, mind, body, soul, answering her calls. There's no a meeting at my work that's remotely more important than her calling me and me being there, like in my opinion, right? So, and if people don't like that, then that's their problem, right? So, just being there, that's kind of my focus, and just getting through this. And for me, finding those coping mechanisms, whether that's meditating, creating videos. Like for me, as you guys know, over the last few years, creating these videos, I'm kind of venting, right? And I appreciate you indulging me in that, and hopefully you can take something away from this. Um, and just the messages, the contributions. Like as I mentioned, we set up a GoFundMe campaign for my sister, so I'll put a link in the description here if you can help support. That means the world to us. And we can't change what's happened, but we can honor Amron by living an amazing life for all of us, for our family, reaching our goals, being successful, working hard, being authentic, putting ourselves out there. I'm coming back. I'm fired up. The team has rallied together. I'm fired up. I'm feeling like the best way to honor him is by just kicking ass in life and just being amazing for people and going above and beyond for clients, family, friends, employees, in volunteer positions, just be an amazing person. And I think that's the best way to honor him going forward. So, all right, I made it through without without crying. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the condolences. And you're going to start to see lots more good, positive news, exciting news coming down the pipeline. And just appreciate all the love and support. So have a good day. Like, comment, share this video so that others can learn from the lessons that I've gone through, hard lessons that we've gone through over the last few weeks. Okay, thank you.